Hey everyone, welcome back to Parently. This is Dr. Mark Boyd. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic that's near and dear to my heart. I know you as a pregnant woman, it's going to be near and dear to your heart as well. Now, trying to establish how far along you are is very, very important in understanding the anatomy of the first trimester of your baby. Dramatic, life-altering events are going to occur in this very first 6 to 8 weeks of your baby's life. Now, as we've discussed in another video, conception occurs with ovulation, that means the egg, and the sperm getting together. This occurs in the fallopian tube. After about 7 days, anywhere from 3 to 7, the fallopian tube is going to release the egg and it's going to come down into the uterus. At that point, the new baby, the conceived baby, is going to burrow itself into the uterus. At that point, it's called a zygote. As this baby grows and develops its surrounding structure, which is called a placenta, it will become what's called an embryo. And it will remain this term, embryo, until around your 9th or 10th week, and we change the name at that point to a fetus. Now, what happens during this first part of pregnancy, the conception part, up until the end of your first trimester? What happens anatomically, size-wise, and then we're going to try to correlate this with ultrasound so that if you have an ultrasound, this will make sense to you. Now, in the first 4 to 5 weeks of gestational age, the baby forms most of its structures. The brain forms, the spinal cord and column form, the eyes form, many of the ligaments form. At the end of your 4th week, the baby is the size of an apple seed. So you can imagine how small an apple seed is. And it's just an amazing process. I call it a miracle that the baby is so complex at this point. Again, with a heart and a nervous system. Now, if we were to correlate with that with ultrasound, so you are at your healthcare provider and they do an internal sonogram, what will you see? Well, at this point, at 4 weeks, you won't see anything in the uterus. You'll see what's called a yolk sac. This is what provides nutrition to the new baby. And you'll see an empty gestational sac. Now, it's empty not because something's not there. It's empty because we can't see it, just because our ultrasounds are not this accurate. Now, as we fast forward up to 8 weeks, your baby's remainder of the organs, excluding a few, are going to completely form. So from 4 weeks gestational age up until 8 weeks, most everything else is forming. Now, if we were to do an ultrasound at this point, at the 8-week mark, your baby is the size of an olive. Inside the gestational sac will be the baby and the amniotic fluid. The placenta at this point is almost completely ready to take over the nutritional aspects of the baby. Remember, prior to this, it's been the ovary and the yolk sac. But around the 8th to the 10th week, the placenta will start its process of giving nutrition to the baby. Now, if we fast forward to the 10th week, and then I'm going to mention the 10th week and the 12th week. The 10th week, all 4 of the extremities are there, the arms and the legs. And also, at this point, the baby's genitalia have completely developed. Now, in ultrasound, we can't see this, but whether your baby is a boy from a biological standpoint or a girl from a biological standpoint, these organs will have formed by the 10th week. Now let's fast forward to the 12th week. The baby looks like a baby at this point. We call it a fetus. So if we were to look at the size of the baby at this point, it's the size of a lime. The baby at this point has a head that looks like a normal baby. It has a body that looks like a normal baby. All 4 of the extremities are there, arms and legs. Even though the genitalia is completely formed at the 12-week mark, ultrasound-wise, we still can't identify whether this is a boy or a girl. You need to fast forward to the 16 to 20-week mark before we can see the genitalia. Life in the first trimester baby. It's an amazing, amazing process. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.